Good morning. All right, guys, your test is next week, which means today we are going to go over the study guide. You guys can make your cheat sheet, which is going to be a half a sheet of paper. And this half sheet of paper, you can write on the front, you can write on the back, and it can be, I don't want to say a cheat sheet because you're not cheating. It's we're going to call it a reference sheet. So you can use this reference sheet on your test the entire time. Use this reference sheet. I would say to write things down from your study guide, which is going to be a very good idea. So we are going to go over the study guide today. I'm going to post pictures of the study guide so you can check your answers, make sure your answers are correct. It's okay if maybe they're not the exact same thing as mine, but make sure that they are close to mine. Make sure you are studying your study guide, looking over the things we've highlighted in your book, looking over the questions in your book, any PowerPoints I've posted about Chapter 3, any videos maybe I've posted about Chapter 3. Anything you have questions on, please make sure you're emailing me or asking me questions. Cohort A, if you're watching this video, your test is on Monday the 11th. Cohort B, your test is on Tuesday the 12th. And full remote, your test will also be on Tuesday the 12th. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And let's get into your study guide. All right, it's going to be upside down for a second. Don't freak out. It'll be okay. I promise. All right, let's straighten it out. And there we go. All right, so first section is always vocab. We know how important vocab can be. So a mineral is a naturally occurring solid that can form by inorganic processes and has a crystal structure and definite chemical composition. Streak is the color of the powder left behind. I'm going to highlight these words so you can see them a little better. Luster is how light is reflected from a mineral's surface. Cleavage, remember that's when a mineral splits along flat surfaces. Fracture is when a mineral breaks in an irregular way. It has the jagged edges. Remember when you break a bone or you fracture a bone, it has those jagged edges. I want you to think about that. Extrusive igneous rock is the one that it cools on the outside of the earth. Intrusive rock, it cools on the inside of the earth. I want you to remember those, the extrusive, it's on the outside, it exits the earth. Intrusive, it's on the inside, it's inside the earth, okay? Let me push this down a little bit, there we go. Foliated, thin, flat layering found in a rock. Fossil fuels are energy-rich substances formed from remains. Sedimentary rock is rock formed when small particles of rock or other remains of plants or animals are pressed and cemented together. Oops. Igneous rock forms when magma or lava cools. And metamorphic rock is formed when heat or pressure or heat and pressure are applied to any rock. So on your test, ooh, that is an extreme close-up. Not a fan of that. Okay. On your test, that is going to be like a matching section. So you'll have a box with 6 vocab words, 1 through 6. You'll have blanks you'll have to fill in. The next section, you'll have 6 vocab words again, 7 through 12, and you'll have to fill in those blanks. So again, that is all your vocab. If you turn the page, the next section, these will all be in forms of multiple choice, short answer, or extended response. So let's go over this. Again, it's going to be upside down. Don't freak out. It's okay. The world's not on fire. We're going to zoom in a little bit. All right, so the first one, number 1. Which property is not the best in identifying a mineral and why? Color, because other minerals can have the same color. That's like me giving you these 3 pens and telling you, go get me the pink pen off my desk. There's 3 pink pens right there. Okay? Which pink pen am I telling you to grab? I'm just identifying that pen by the color. That's the same thing with minerals. You can't identify a mineral by its color and just tell me to do something by its color. Other minerals are going to have that same color, so you have to identify it by another one of its properties. Which are, let's talk about them. So what are the 6 properties and how can we test them? The first property we have is color. How do we test color? Simple, what do? We look at it. It's the only way you can test color, you look at it. Next one is luster. How do we test color? You look at it, you see how the light reflects it. Remember, we have such things as metallic, non-metallic, glassy, greasy, vitreous, all those different lusters. Next, we have hardness. Hardness, you can scratch it with a penny, with a fingernail, a nail, a glass plate, and then compare it to the Mohs hardness scale. Remember, that scale is from 1 to 10, okay? 1 being the softest, 10 being the hardest. What is the softest mineral? Good job, talc. I heard you yell it out. Good job. And what's the hardest? Diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. I know. I heard you guys singing it. That's a good song. Good song. You guys probably don't know that song. You're too young for that. All right. Next one is streak. All right. You scratch it on the ceramic plate and you look at the powder left behind. Lastly, we have cleavage and fracture. And you break it apart and you see how they break. So if they break in jagged or even, and then you see how they look. And if it's jagged, it's fracture. If you have clean, easy, flat breaks, it is cleavage. I'm going to zoom out for this one. All right, next we have, what are 2 differences between intrusive and extrusive igneous rocks? I'm going to get physical with this one for you guys. All right. So intrusive rocks, they cool on the inside of the earth. They cool slowly and they have large crystals. Extrusive rocks, they cool on the outside of the earth. They cool quickly and they're small crystals. All right. Again, extreme close-up. Not a good look on me. Okay, extrusive rocks. They are going to explode out of the earth. They exit the earth. Extrusive. When you're on the outside of a blanket, you're going to cool down a lot quicker, right? You're exiting the earth. You're on the outside. You're cooling down a heck of a lot quicker, okay? Cooling down quick, all right? And those crystals, because it's cooling so quick, they don't have a lot of time to grow. Okay, so they're going to be very small. So I want you to think about, like, if you're planting a flower. It doesn't have a lot of time to grow. You're going to pull it out of the ground quick. It's going to exit. It's going to cool quick. They're going to be very small. Those crystals, they don't have a lot of time to grow. They're cooling down quick. They're exiting the earth. They're very small. All right. Intrusive. They're inside the earth. They're intrusive. You're under a blanket. You're cooling down slowly. Those crystals are going to have time to grow, so they're going to be nice and big, all right? You're going to have a lot of time to grow. Make sense? I'm so glad you agree that that makes sense. I know I looked crazy doing that, but I bet you're going to remember intrusive versus extrusive rocks. I bet. All right. Let's move on to sedimentary rocks and how they're formed. Wow, extreme close-up. I don't do good with close-ups. I'm more of a far-away person, not a close-up. Let's go back. All right, sedimentary rocks. How are they formed? There are 4 steps. First, we have weathering and erosion. The rocks are broken down and carried away. Next, we have deposition. sediments settle down. Compaction, the sediments are pressed together, they're compacted together. And then we have cementation, they're kind of glued together. Those sediments are glued together and you have your rock. Number 5, what are the 3 types of fossil fuels? List the uses for each one. You have oil. This could be used in cars, in your school, buses, heat, in homes. Then you have coal, which could be used for electricity. And then you have natural gas, which can be used in a gas stove or to heat your home. Why are fossil fuels non-renewable? They take hundreds of millions of years to form. Remember, the fossil fuels that we're using today have taken hundreds of millions of years to form, so we're using fossil fuels that were created using things from like before the dinosaurs, okay? All right, and lastly, we are going to label the rock cycle. This may be the same rock cycle that's on your test. You may want to study this picture of the rock cycle very much so, because this may be the same rock cycle that's on your test. It just might be. I'm just saying. Okay, let's go over this, because it might be the same rock cycle that's on your test. All right, so the picture that looks like it's raining on a rock, that is weathering and erosion. The picture that it looks like it's pressing down on the rock, that is compaction and cementation. Where it looks like there's fire on the rock, that is melting. Sorry. The picture that it looks like there's like stuff coming off the rock, that's cooling. And the other one where it looks like it's pressing down on the rock with like yellow, that's heat and pressure. Okay, so up at the top, I abbreviated for weathering and erosion, I just use W and E. For compaction and cementation, I just use C and C. And then heat and pressure, I used H and P. So if we start at a sedimentary rock, we apply heat and pressure, we get a metamorphic rock, we melt it, we cool it, we get an igneous rock, we weather and erode, we get sediments, we compact and cementation, we get a sedimentary rock. I started a metamorphic rock, I weather and erode, I get a sediment. Started a sedimentary rock, I weather and erode, I get a sediment. Started an igneous rock, I heat and pressure, I get metamorphic. Started an igneous rock, I can melt, I get magma, I cool, I get an igneous rock. Okay, so that is your study guide. Please, please, please make sure you go over this study guide. Make your reference sheet, cheat sheet, whatever you want to call it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Study this, study your study guide. That's what that is. Look over your book. Be ready for your test. And let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day, guys.